B7-8 singles action about to come up here between Josh Thornton and Jimmy Reynolds. This is going to be a cracking contest here, this quarterfinal. Commonwealth Games gold medalist Josh Thornton, world champion James Reynolds. I'm so excited for this. Val Furbo with you at Broadbeach Bowls Club at Ringside Live Para-Nationals action. And joining me, I'm very lucky today because I've pulled in the big guns. And her name is Jodie Nikolic. Jodie, thank you for joining me. Right at home, emerging para-jackaroo from Western Australia. You superstar that you are. Thank you for sitting in with me for your ringside debut.
Good morning, Val. Thank you for inviting me to come and join you. First time commentator here, so a little nervous, but I know I'm well managed in your hands.
I hope so anyway. Sometimes I lead people astray, but let's hope that's not today. Very much looking forward to this match because these two, we know what they're about. We know the quality that they possess. They've been there and done that at the highest stage at international level. But now all of that is aside. Their states are what matter. Josh representing Victoria, Jimmy, New South Wales. Formerly ACT, he's defected to the biggest state that embodies the Australian Capital Territory.
And a champion, they both are, but Jimmy as well. Just an amazing athlete.
He's
really
an amazing human.
Good guy. Really good guy. I don't know Josh very well, but I've seen him in action in the last couple of nationals and just an amazing competitor. He's been right at the top for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he certainly has. Definitely.
It's going to be a great game.
Sure is. Waiting just for the hooter to go off. Just double check whether this is 2 hours or 2:15. I'm pretty sure it might be 2:15 for this session. I'll double check with the man that's running the event, Paul, man of the people, Holschke.
It was 2 hours yesterday because we were rained out the day before. So yesterday we had 4 games crammed in here. So they did have to cut the time back from 2 hours 15 to 2 hours so that we could manage to fit everything in. I
was going to say that is a big day of bowls. And we saw 4. There is the hooter, so we're about to get underway. 4 games of bowls, that is a lot.
It was a very long day yesterday. Myself personally, I had 2 games of pairs, lunch, and then 2 games of singles. It was a long day. Yeah.
Oh, right, wow. How are your arms afterwards, like in terms of like shoulders,
I'm
delivery? I'm
actually very sore today, my butt and my shoulders.
Well, I think most people would be sore after 4 games. I was talking to Anda Panchawat, one of the juniors from South Australia, just before she's here watching on, and she said that she's feeling exhausted, and they've been playing 4 matches a day and going from 8 in the morning until late at night. So
if it's affecting the 18-year-olds, imagine how it's.
Well, she's under 18,
well,
so
yes.
Yeah. And kids have an abundance of energy. We know that.
They do.
So Josh with those. I believe they're yellow and black bowls, or maybe navy. Might be navy.
They're very dark. And
yeah. So Jimmy, a couple of metres in front. Josh, a couple of metres behind. Let's see how Jimmy Reynolds can correct. How have you found the Broadbeach greens and the way that they run?
They've changed over the last few days for sure. We had a lot of rain on the first day, so they were very heavy and very... Well, they're always wide compared to WA here, the grass line. But now that things have dried out, they're running beautifully.
Yeah, I think the monsoon that we all experienced up here at Broadbeach and Club Tweed as well, that was something out of the apocalypse. I don't think...
Is that normal up here?
Well, I don't know. There's been a couple of nationals where it has rained. But, yeah, I don't even think Noah's Ark would have survived in that. Because, yeah, there are a couple of jacks submerged.
I took a photo and put it on my social media.
I did see
the whole
that.
green here was covered. Last year we were in Perth for the Nationals at Warwick, and it was something like very warm, 100 Fahrenheit, 37 degrees.
Wow,
That
does sound pretty good, but also a little bit too hot. Especially when you guys are out there, in the beaming sun and... that you're sort of exposed to the elements. And
in the northern suburbs close to the beaches, we get a lot of wind up there. But it's perfect conditions here today.
Is that the Fremantle Doctor?
We call it the Fremantle Doctor. Yep, comes in the afternoon and blows in off the ocean, off the west coast.
So market saying 1 to New South Wales. White paddles, I believe, for Victoria. And Jimmy Reynolds currently holding. Where if you were him, Jodie, where are you going?
Looks like he's going to the forehand.
Sort of get around that front bowl and join his own. Just needs to run. Had the line.
Yeah, it looks different from where we're seeing it here. I mean, he had the option of coming on his backhand and taking the jack back, but that bowl of Josh there looks like it's right in his way.
Good afternoon to wherever you're watching around, or good morning still. I'm running on New South Wales time, so New South Wales it's afternoon, and in Queensland for some reason not having daylight savings. Actually, you guys don't have it in Western Australia, do you?
We do not. The cows don't milk properly and the curtains fade, apparently.
Is that the reason?
We had referendum years ago, just growing up. We used to have it when I was a child, but then it was stopped, and it was always, everyone jokes about it. Cows don't milk. I think it's something to do with the farmers having to get up extra early.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, blue paddles are for Victoria. There you go.
Okay.
So 1 to Josh Thornton to start proceedings. He will take the mat.
I think both players have just come off from playing pairs too, haven't they?
I think they have.
Yep.
Have a look at how this section is placed as well. Jump onto results.bowlslink.com.au, which is what everybody can do at home if you want to keep an eye on what's happening in the results and how things are looking. These two both top their sections, and the winner of this will take on the winner of Barry Brennan and Damien Delgado. Cooper White Styles and Josh Barry also playing each other, and Chris Flavel and David Minns. These are all heavyweight
top
matchups.
Names.
Yeah.
The only person I don't know is Barry Brennan from
He's been
Victoria.
around for a while.
Haven't come across him, but yep, definitely all top players.
And Jodie, you're at Yanchep in Western Australia. How's everything going there? I know that you've done a lot of good work with making the club so inclusive and bringing a smile to the faces of a lot in the bowling community in Western Australia. So how are things at the club?
Club's going well. I have just come off my 2 years stint as club president.
No re-election, or you can't go?
I chose not to re-elect. I'm going to dedicate myself to my bowls a little bit
fair
more
enough.
and have a bit more time.
Can always come back later.
Absolutely. We're about to start our pennant season. Yeah, we've done a lot of work in the inclusive space. We received a grant 2 years ago from Bowls WA, where we purchased 2 bowling wheelchairs. We've had a few people come down. No regulars though. There's not a lot up in our area. And the problem with having a bowls chair at the club, a lot of people require different requirements out of the bowls chair.
Yep.
Most of us have our own chairs made specifically for our issues and injuries.
Yep.
We had a 6-foot guy try to play in it, and his legs were up around his knees, so that was a little disappointing.
But I think if you look past that, bowls clubs want to be a welcoming environment, and the fact that you have the chairs there, it's just eliminating those barriers for people to come in, which is exactly what I think is wonderful about what you're doing and what the club has taken to. Absolutely.
I know if I had have arrived in Perth and I had some chairs available just for me to get out there and have a go, that would have made a huge difference to me.
Josh Thornton, that's actually a pretty good result because he's managed to push his behind the jack, take a second. Very good head of bowls this, and we're going to expect a lot of this throughout this contest. Josh playing in the 14-point pairs with Lucas Protopappas. We love Lucas.
Always has a smile on his face.
I know he does.
He's doing very well this week too.
Has he? How many times has he mentioned right at home?
Every time. He's a great ambassador for Right at Home.
He is, but he's and Glenda Manny, if you are listening, Lucas, any chance he gets, even if there's no cameras on him, he will just mention Right at Home.
Yes, he asked me if I needed another Right at Home towel. He's
given me a couple, and I don't play, but Actually, they are fantastic for cleaning the shower at home.
Well,
and
we
cleaning
needed
mirrors.
as many towels as we could find on Tuesday.
Oh,
when it
yes,
was
for
pouring
sure.
With rain.
I should have brought them up for you. And Josh Thornton,
Josh.
this is looking really good. If he's got the weight, yeah, he's up behind this. This is a beauty.
Absolutely stellar ball from Josh.
That is monstrous. I reckon he's holding 3.
But Jimmy has 1 ball to go.
Marker might say 2 and a measure. Nope, he's got 3 paddles in the air. So Jimmy's got a lot of work cut out for him here. And if you look at 3 of Josh's bowls, right on the line, pretty much, like he's looking switched on.
This is going to be a great battle today.
Sure is. Very enjoyable already. Josh, not just in para bowls, but in open bowls as well. He's an Australian Open champion with Barry Lester.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
In 2018 or 17, I believe they won the pairs.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, Josh Thornton and Barry Lester. Jimmy overshoots 3 more to Josh Thornton. That is a big start for the Victorian. .40 to start proceedings. I believe he's going to get the tape out here. Just to check this.
Okay.
And that is a 3. The eyes of Nikolic and Febo doing pretty well.
Good camera work. He zoomed in nicely there, didn't he?
Right under Robbie Allen, controlling our pictures today. So 4-0 after 2. Good start for the Victorian, but knowing Jimmy Reynolds, he's going to fight right until the very end.
Oh, yes. Very early days, Val.
Yep, singles, you can't count, well, I guess you can count down a clock here, but it doesn't look very good if you do it. Time wasting, not what we want to see. We want to see shots played, and we are seeing that these two don't take too much time on the mat. He's giving this some good grass, Josh Thornton. Whether that will cut under, just going to drop short. But the line,
What bowls do you think Josh is using, Val?
I think he's got arrows. I'm not sure what arrows they are. If anybody can help that might know, Josh.
This looks like a very good line for Jimmy. Is the weight going to be there?
He might just rub, and that's going to work out okay for him. Dreamline XGs for Jimmy. One of the most inspirational bowlers that we have, Jimmy Reynolds, the most humble guy you'll ever meet. And I'll tell you what, he's a staff member with us at Bowls Australia and as one of the Pathways coaches. Have a look at Josh Thornton.
Oh.
This is an exhibition.
It is.
And Jimmy, in February, when we had our first conference of the year, he came down, he was playing pool, and the amount of trash talk that was coming out of his mouth, he was hilarious.
Would never have thought that from Jimmy.
No, he is
He's
absolutely...
such a positive
yeah.
person.
Honestly, you just park yourself in front of Jimmy Reynolds for a night and he will have you in fits of laughter. He's talented both on and off the green, that is for sure.
I spent a little bit of time. Jimmy was my coach for the National Development Series. Not
yes.
this year, last year in 2023. Team Gold. And that's where I really got to know Jimmy. I didn't know him well before. And you're right, Val, he is funny. funny, funny man and a tremendous coach, such a positive person. And every time I see him, he just comes up and says hello.
Yeah, he does. Just, there's no ego on him. He's always about other people, and, you know, he might sacrifice his own game just to help somebody else, which is...
That's the kind of man Jimmy Reynolds is.
I remember the first time we had him on BA's podcast, The Right Line, he had both me and my co-host at the time, Brianna Smith, we were both quite emotional with one of his answers. He's just so passionate, and you can tell the love that he has for this sport, and he's a brilliant human being.
He's been bowling quite a long time, hasn't he?
Yep,
Since he was a little tacker.
Yep. He was a bronze medalist at the 2002 Commonwealth Games in Manchester.
Wow.
Hopefully he doesn't
Very
take offence to that for calling him old.
He's younger than me, so...
Josh just coming underneath, but good weight. And the National Development Series for you, Jodie. You were on Team Green, I believe, this year.
Green this year.
If I remember correctly, it was it Jack McShane on your team?
Jack was on my team.
Kate Argent-Bowden, Jack East.
Jack East from the West. Call him East from the West.
Yeah.
Team members. I got to meet quite a few new people.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic week. 5-a-side for able-bodied people and one person living with a disability. Just shows the inclusivity of bowls.
So good. And that was at Club Tweed, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. It was. And it was rainy that week as well.
Of course it was. It's funny, the times that I haven't been to Broadbeach or around this area, or Jimmy coming through, takes the jack, and that is going to be 2, I reckon, for Jimmy Reynolds. I saw 2 fingers from Josh. Those 2 paddles might come up. I dare say this is probably going to be a second for Jimmy Reynolds. Just promoted his own up the line. And wait for the marker to give us the indication. So Jimmy's interesting there. Let's see what our marker says. He's going to walk in our direction very shortly. Holds it up. Just the one.
Just the one.
So Jimmy's on the board. So 1 for Jimmy Reynolds, 4 for Josh Thornton. 3 ends gone. And yeah, the times I haven't been up here for the AO, it's actually been quite wet. I think we came up here for the 2021 Oz Champs in 2022 in late April. And it bucketed down. Absolutely bucketed down. And then other times been up to Mount Tamborine before an Australian Open, got really cold. Got here in, I think, for the Nationals in 2022, it rained a lot. So I feel like aside from June, it can rain.
It does rain, and when it rains, it really rains. We've seen that this week. It was torrential.
And Jodie, outside of bowls, we were talking before off air, you said that it involves a lot of speaking. What's the profession for those who may not know?
Oh, I work for PBF Australia, Paraplegic Benefit Fund. We are a national charity and not-for-profit. Our goals are to try and reduce or prevent spinal cord injuries, which is what I live with, and to help those who do live with spinal cord injuries. And we have injury prevention programs in all the areas where spinal cord injuries happen the most. So I am paralysed with a spinal cord injury due to a motor vehicle crash. So I mostly talk to high school students, year 10s, 11s and 12s, the young ones getting their licences. And our team just tell our story in the hopes that, you know, we might shock them enough to make good choices when they travel on and around the roads. Yep. So I do speak for a living professionally, although I'm very well prepared. Speaking off the cuff does make me quite nervous.
No, you are flying. Absolutely flying. So, Josh Thornton just hopping around. It's a bit of a shorter length now. Jimmy Reynolds has, he's got the mat back and jack up.
I think that's about the 25 metre mark.
What's your preferred length in singles, Jodie?
I do prefer the shorter lengths, anywhere from 23 to 27. But obviously, you need to learn to play all of the lengths.
So 1 to Josh Thornton at the moment. Bowling in the north-south direction today. Already been a fantastic contest. And Jodie, in 2022, you were the recipient of the Clover Lester Encouragement Award. Tell us how much
that was
that
a massive
meant.
surprise that day. We had just finished the Nationals and I was called up as a winner of that. I didn't even know the award existed, but I'm so extremely grateful. I've had been given numerous opportunities since then, which I'm very grateful for. The following year, I was selected to be a part of the Pathways Jackaroos, and that just comes with so much training and support, which it's just such a fantastic opportunity.
Amazing. And I remember that presentation, as I think a lot of people that were in the room that day remember that presentation.
I don't remember it all at
You don't
all. I
remember-
went blank when they called it out. And
Paul Holschke's, you don't remember any of his gaffes?
I remember his, yes.
Because I was going to say, that's become almost famous as Jimmy gets a little touch of the jack, and all of a sudden
Jimmy.
he has made 3. But now Paul that day, the man of the people, he just got nothing right.
I do remember that day.
It's one of the funniest presentations I think I've ever seen, and I do apologise if he's listening inside at Broadbeach, but calling people the wrong name, getting people who didn't win medals to come up, and wonderful. And he'll be back again doing it tomorrow.
He will. He made me giggle in his opening ceremony speech on Tuesday. He's always humorous.
Has Josh got there? I don't think so. Probably still 2 to Jimmy Reynolds. Are we going to get a measure here? Having a look. Tell how quick these two are sort of looking at their head, how much they mean business. Is it still 3? This is a big question. 2 kicked out. And just 2 confirmed.
2 for Jimmy.
So 4-3 after 4.
Mm-hmm.
We said Jimmy would fight and come back pretty quickly within 2 ends from 4-0
yes,
down.
It's going to be a battle this whole game.
Yeah, what happened with Paul at the opening ceremony?
He started reading his speech and then he just put off the cuff comments in throughout it, but they were quirky. He's just cute. He's got his speech written out, obviously, but then he throws his little, like you said, gaffes in throughout it.
Oh, I can't wait to replay that comment for him later.
I'll be in trouble. No, Paul does an absolutely fantastic job. There's been so much to organise this week with the rain interruptions and changing all the games, and he's so positive and he's on top of everything at all times. It's little things like today, like yesterday he blew the horn for the end of the game, I think, just behind me, and I literally nearly jumped out of my chair. So today I see him standing 1 green over right in the middle of it. It's like he's standing right in the middle of the green.
Probably where he should have been the first time. Happened once with John Roberts at the Australian Open. JR, acting as tournament director, went literally just outside the room where we were all sitting at the back to indicate it was the end of the session, and we all just jumped. But it was very funny because we were all just laughing afterwards going, oh wow, that woke us up.
Well, when you're bowling, you're totally engrossed in your bubble of the game, but when the horn blows right behind you, it literally...
Yeah, they are loud.
We're looking at about another short end.
So I feel like Josh is going to try and stretch it out a little bit more. Jimmy's going to try and keep them short. That seems what the tactics are going to be at the present. Jimmy trying to meet Josh's at the back here. That's a nice finish. So he's got the 3 around. This is on a pretty decent track from Josh Thornton, however. That's number 1.
Jimmy has 1 ball to go.
It's always good to do it with your second last as well, because you're only leaving your opponent with 1 more in reply. And if they can't do it, then you've also all of a sudden got an opportunity to have a free kick for a second. Better yet, it could be a third or a fourth, you never know. So Raylene Barry, just asking about updates on other singles games. You can head to results.bowlslink.com.au. I'll actually put the live. So these are...
I think that's Josh's mum, isn't it?
Yes, I don't think they are being live scored, actually. Well, they might be here. Let me send you a link in the comments, and you'll be able to grab some live scores. Can't quite see the...
Yeah, Josh is about 3 rinks across, but we can't see the scoreboards from this angle.
Unfortunately, I have a little pole in the way.
Oh, there you are. You can see it on the screen here.
Oh, there you go.
Yep,
5-4. There you go, Raylene. 5-4 in favour of Josh Barry over Cooper White Stars. This is why I need you here, Jodie.
My powers of observance, do you think, Val?
Yep. I'm not... I can...
Josh is coming in.
Just... Whoa, did he get there? No. Little slap on the leg. Body language says 0 or 1, and marker says 1. So 5-3 in favour of Josh Thornton. Sometimes I can be not the most observant person, depending on what it is.
You're managing a few things at once there, though.
No, it's just in everyday life as well. One day when I was living at home with Mum and Dad, I bought a new, like it was quite a bright pink couch that Mum got. I walked straight past it. Did not notice that it was there. And then I had to go double take in the room in the other room after Mum goes, "Did you notice what was in the living room?" I'm like, "No."
Bright pink.
Yeah, it's a very nice couch. But I walked straight past it. Josh Thornton, this is a really good starter.
Good start.
And look at how much he stretched this out, Jodie.
That's going to be the tactic of the day, I feel.
Jimmy's got to get those wheat bix and put them out longer, but he's pretty consistent across all lengths. Jimmy Reynolds, he's been doing it for a long time. And
here comes a nice one.
This is
Look at that reply.
That is superb.
Both Josh and James played the previous game on green 1 too, so it takes a couple of ends, I guess, to get used to the different conditions over here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Josh is actually on a pretty good track here. If he gets around his front, he's close. Oh, my word. Insanely good.
See what Jimmy comes up with in reply.
Jimmy has also had a lot of success in able-bodied bowls, has skipped the ACT and the Australian sides championships, not to mention has been to the Champion of Champions before. Might be on the wider side here. Good home. He's not done it again, has he?
I'm wondering if Jimmy might swap hands this time and on his backhand try and pop that jack out to his waiting bowl at the back.
Yeah, because if he flops that over maybe one rotation, that jack's going to move, because on these rinks, it slides like glass, the jack.
Yes.
They're so
If you can
quick.
pop it back to his waiting bowl.
Yeah, especially at this time of the
Yep,
day.
he's changing hands.
And you were nervous, Jody, about coming in and calling shots. Look at you. You're a pro.
I'm not sure about that, Val, but thank you.
Just going with a bit of weight underneath. But he had the right idea, James Reynolds. Yep. Try and get rid of that. Even if he gets it clean, it does work. Good afternoon to everybody watching on. No, good morning.
You're ahead of yourself. You've just come from Club Tweed.
I'm looking at, I've kept the time at New South Wales, so it's got 12:28 on all of my appliances.
You're an hour ahead.
Yeah. It's gonna. I'm surprised I was on time this morning because it's caught a few people out already.
Imagine the players who are staying on the Queensland side of the border but playing across at Club Tweed. It would be very confusing having to always consistently remember what time zone you're in.
Robbie Allen's got a little timeline next to him, so knowing what time he has to be here and set things up.
Robbie is super organised.
Yeah. So we've got 2 days here at Broadbeach and then head back to Club Tweed for senior sides and sides. So then I can go back to normal and then I go home. So I don't have to worry about coming up to Queensland. Although if I did come up, I'd be staying just down the road. So you'd be staying in Queensland time.
Where is home, Val?
Melbourne.
Down south? Oh, Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're a Melbourne boy.
It's always a bit cruel because I do like daylight savings and then you come up here and you miss it for a few weeks. Jimmy Reynolds, he's gone with weight again. He's close, very close. Jimmy Reynolds got it clean. That is supreme. One to Victoria. I thought he might have just done enough there, but
yeah, yep.
He didn't in the end.
Was thinking the jack might pop back, but still a
great
fantastic
effort
ball
to cut that down. So Josh Thornton, an exceptional end from him, goes to a 6-3 buffer. Such a good player, Josh.
Back to the long end.
So the clear tactics have been set, Jody. Now that Josh is going to go long, Jimmy's going to keep it short. And they're going sort of 2 for 2 at the moment. Josh won the first 2 ends, Jimmy the next 2, and Josh the last 2.
Yeah, the general rule, don't change the length if you're winning on it.
Exactly right.
This looks pretty good though from Jimmy. Is it going to come in?
It's doing its utmost.
Weight was very good.
So when do you head home back to Western Australia, Jody?
Our team, the WA state team, are heading back on Sunday, but I'm actually staying until Tuesday.
Beautiful.
There's a para competition organised by Serena Bonnell
very
at
nice.
Club Helensvale.
Very nice.
So it's a 2-day singles, and there's been record involvement, which is really exciting. So much so that the competition is spilling out into Rubina.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, Helensvale, I think, run the operations down there, so it's a great opportunity for both clubs, and that's brilliant. Great to see that Serena, she's such a pioneer for para bowls, isn't she? She runs events. She wants bowls to be the most inclusive sport in the world, and
she really has a passion for helping educate and just get people with disabilities into the sport and helping to expand it.
Josh Thornton is just going to knock Jimmy's a bit closer and behind the jack. So racing to 21, 6-3 at the moment. Really enjoyable start so far, high quality.
Oh, in for 2.
He's playing really well.
Let's see what Josh does here.
Got the jack clean, took it out, and I reckon that's gone out of bounds, so we'll respot that. Back on the tee. Or has it stayed in? Oh no, respotting. Straight back onto the tee where Jimmy Reynolds was already covering. Toucher in the ditch.
Missed that bowl. I was blowing my nose.
Sorry, I still had your mic on mute then for you. What were you saying?
My allergies have kicked up now that the sun's back. They were well managed while it was raining, but now the sun's back. My allergies have kicked back, so I had to go off and blow my nose.
No, that's
I missed that
more
great
than fair
bowl from Josh.
No, spring kills me. I'm exactly the same. Hay fever is just not my friend.
I'm allergic to the one sport that I can actually play. The grass.
So frustrating. Are you a Claritine girl or?
No, the other, Fexo.
Fexo? What's that?
Fexofenahin.
Never had that
Yeah,
before.
I had to move from Claritin. I don't know, there's 2 types. And I was taking one type for a very long time and it just wasn't working. So the chemist gave me the other type.
I'd have to try that eventually. Jimmy wanted to get down. If he can promote his own up, that's a good result. And then if he can get his own in, it's a good result. Well, I reckon he might have made 2 there. 2 taken out. Could it be a 3rd? Tape coming out. A lot of measuring.
When in doubt, measure.
Yep. Steady hands required. That is 3. Is it a full count for Jimmy Reynolds? I don't believe it is. No. close.
Just going back to remeasure.
It's been umpire, maybe. It's a lot closer than I thought. We'll get the marker's indication very shortly. He walks down the rink. Still not quite in view. 3.
It's like 3 there.
And Jodie Nikolic, we're on level terms.
Back to even Stevens.
Jimmy's going to make this quite short once more. After this, we've got the Women's Open Pairs final. Very much looking forward to that
Who's
contest.
got through for that, Val? Haven't had a chance to look yet.
Have a look at the draws here. So final series, semi-finals going on right now. Annette Goldsworthy and Cheryl Linfield up against Annette Ruffle and Alison East. So
that will be a brilliant game. I
will.
played Annette Goldsworthy and Cheryl Linfield in our sectionals. They played spectacularly. They're really on form at the moment. And both the other Annette Ruffle and Alison East. Alison's on fire.
Yeah, she is.
week.
Well, she absolutely dispatched Annette Goldsworthy in the singles this morning.
Yes,
so I called that
saw
before,
that game.
21-6. And the other match between Gail Schultz and Carolyn Nelson up against the all-conquering Queensland team, Louise Hoskins and Serena Bonnell. Look at that starter from Josh Thornton. But yeah, so Annette Goldsworthy might have a few nightmares about session 1 as she faces Alison East once more, but doesn't have to play directly against her.
Well, she's been bowling very well in general across this week. Never know in the game. Got to let a game go, the previous game go. It's all in the day.
And then there's Cheryl Linfield. She's one of my favourites.
And she's got new bowls. You can't miss them.
New bowls?
Bright pink bowls.
Bright pink?
Yes.
It's when you know you're good, when you start to get those fluoro colours.
I should have thought about that before I bought my bowls. No, they're lovely bright pink. You can't miss them. And she's bowling very well with them.
I'm going to give Cheryl some stick over those.
Apparently they weren't her first choice of colour, but the rest of the team voted for them, so she's keeping them.
She's an all-time human being, Cheryl Linfield.
Isn't she?
I put a microphone in her face and she hates me for it, but she's so good at it.
I wonder why. She speaks so well. She really does speak well. She's so considered.
In human resources, you have to speak well, so...
But it's the same thing,
manager.
I guess. It's something that she's been doing for years. She's well experienced in that role. To speak in the moment is a little bit different.
Josh Thornton, now you've got to give this a little bit more grass on the shorter ends. And he has done so. Whether this comes around, let's see. Oh, yeah. It's working its way. Has he got the weight? Probably not. Not happy with it. Jimmy Reynolds having a look. This match has been all we built it up to be so far. Really enjoyable.
Certainly is. Neck and neck. I'm predicting a backhand, yes. Oh no. Oh, look at this.
Jimmy Reynolds.
Oh.
What were they saying at the World Championships when they were cheering him on? Hey, Jimmy, you're so fine, you're so fine.
You blow my mind?
Yep. I forgot the words then for a sec. There you go.
Wasn't quite sure where you were going with it, but
team.
that's the traditional version.
I think that's what they were singing up in the stands for him when he was playing with Damo in the final. And
is that the World Championship or the Commonwealth Games?
No, Worlds last year up at Club Helensvale. What a final that was against South Africa. just nip and tuck the whole way through. Josh went with big weight, and he took it all back. That jack, has it stayed in bounds? I think it has.
There it is, still just hanging in there.
It is. And so 1 to Josh Thornton. So everything was all very sparse. And have a look at where the jack is, and he cleaned it up completely. So 1 to Josh Thornton. Still hasn't been behind yet in this match. And I dare say we're going back to a long end. 7-6, Josh Thornton after 8. On the green for rink 22 here at Broadbeach. Right on the water. So many great things to do at Broadbeach. So many great restaurants and pastimes. Have you been sampling any of them, Jodie?
Nope.
No.
I'm exhausted by the end of the day. I go home, stretch, have something to eat and lay down.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
No,
Where are you
I
staying?
suffer from a lot of pain. We're
Fair
staying
enough.
in Main Beach at the RAC Park.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep. Yes.
More than fair enough then. Maybe after tomorrow. Celebrate the
Perhaps.
event being over
Yes.
and head down to...
I don't even know what day it is. Today's Friday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
After tomorrow. But then, yeah, no, playing again on Sunday.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep,
at Helensvale.
the
All right,
Helensvale
yep,
comp.
okay.
No,
No rest for the wicked.
perhaps I'll have a day off when I get back. I was up here for the AO though, and
Yep.
did have a chance to see a little bit of surface. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I'd
Yeah.
move to Queensland in a heartbeat if I had the
Oh, really?
opportunity. I love
Okay.
it here.
We
Good grass here from Jimmy.
Yeah, this year during the AO, I went back on the middle weekend because it was Dustin Martin's 300th, and I wanted to go and watch that, stupidly.
What's that? Cricket?
Football,
Oh,
AFL.
football. Sorry, not much into football.
Oh, you got to know who Dustin Martin is.
I've never heard of
Jodie.
him.
Oh my God, he's Richmond's greatest ever player. No, I wanted to go back for that, and yeah, I usually on my days off I'll walk from Broadbeach all the way up to Surfers as Josh Thornton nails that. So having a look at on the screen here, I believe it's 9-6 in favour of Josh Barry over Cooper White Styles. Looking on the screen there. Can't quite see what's actually happening on the boards because we've got some poles in the way.
Great reply from Jimmy Reynolds there. Can hear the crowd going wild out there.
Yes,
A few supporters watching on the sidelines.
it's great to see as well. Josh isn't far away. He's going to duck under, isn't he?
Oh, close. Oh, it's not over yet.
Oh, wow. That is.
Bit of luck there.
Sometimes you need some fortune. Can't quite see what's happening on some of the other boards.
This is coming in nicely.
Jimmy, what's he got? Oh, he just hasn't followed with it.
Absolutely fantastic.
One down to
ball,
one
but
down. I believe Damien Delgado is in front on his rink as well. I think that's against Barry Brennan. Did have a view of it, but it's, again, as we said, obstructed. Josh just coming around. His weight's pretty good, but just not going to get there. So an hour and 28 minutes to go. Or just under that now. Both of these two have settled in really nicely. It's a game of cat and mouse, both preferring different sort of lengths. And Jodie Nikolic very much enjoying this contest.
It's almost every bowl is effective.
Yeah.
Things are changing rapidly.
Let's see what Jimmy Reynolds can do. Can he get it back to level terms? Just needs to add a little bit more width to his last. Oh, he's just going to duck under. One more to Josh Thornton. 8-6, pretty much scoring in singles. Will someone make a move? One thing I want to ask you, Jodie, is you said after winning that Clover Lester Encouragement Award here, how much opportunity you've had since then. How has that helped your game, and sort of what has been the focus for you in terms of going to those next few levels and becoming an emerging para-jackaroo?
When I won the Clover Lester Award, I was really a new player. I think it was in my first 18 months of taking up bowls. So
Which is so impressive.
Very new, very new. So I guess the first year I worked on developing a mat process. Bowls Australia talk a lot about having your pre-shot routine and your mat process. I had so much to learn about the game of bowls, learning my line and seeing that on the green instead of just aiming at the backboard. So I guess the first 18 months was just learning to bowl. And then the last season I've been lucky enough. One of the things that we can have is a psychologist appointed by the AIS to help work on the head as well. And bowls is very much a mind game as well.
It really is.
Staying calm. I get very anxious and very nervous, and that affects the start of my bowls. I'm literally shaking and I get silly thoughts in my head. So working with a psychologist the past 12 months is really helping me to focus and calm down, which I've noticed has worked for me this past week.
That's sensational. And so 12 months working with the psych, how, obviously I know you can't reveal too much about what you talk about, but
I'm crazy.
Just the way you said that. But it's, how, in terms of just focusing, what are the things you just focus on? Do you focus on something around you just to say, oh, okay, that's the board, that's what you need to aim at? Or do you aim, like, in terms of your weight, how do you focus? What sort of things will you focus on to try and bring yourself back down? Yeah.
I just put myself in a bubble. I don't even know anything that's going on around me. Not looking at the board too much, not focusing on the outcome. Yeah. Just focusing on end by end.
Bowl by bowl.
Bowl by bowl. Tuning out in between bowls, and then having my trigger, that when I'm going to go onto the mat, I have a trigger. That's time for business.
Oh, right.
And
there
then
you
follow
go.
that mat routine.
Okay.
And I think, just using that process to totally focus you. And it's Bowls Australia and our coaches always talk about your process, and it's taken me a while to understand and really value that that's what really is important. Trusting in the process. And yesterday, the last game, I was tired. Brain was starting to fail, get a little bit ditzy out there.
Loopy, yep.
Yeah, a bit loopy. And
happens in commentary as well, don't worry.
Yep. And one of the things we learnt at one of the seminars was just tune out. Just go and pick up a leaf and tune out. But when it's time to go, pick up your bowl, turn on that trigger, and you only need to focus for 15 to 30 seconds while you're delivering. And I used that yesterday, and it really seemed to help me a lot.
That's brilliant.
So it's all these little tips from the people that come before us, Karen Murphy and Gary Willis and all the expert coaches that we have. Very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Through these long events, you can get quite loopy, and I know even just being in our job, the penultimate night of the Australian Open this year, we all went to a staff dinner, and it was a really late day because the finals had been delayed because people were playing in multiple events. And by the time we got to dinner, I was just all over the place. I was laughing at things that weren't funny. Just one of those nights where
I
you
totally
just sort of
get
lose it.
I've never had that before, but I've played a few games now at the end of the day where it's like I'm drunk.
Yeah, and I wasn't.
No.
But yeah, just completely.
It's a strange feeling. So I've looked at my nutrition around that as well. We're fortunate to have some, nutrition advice. So the combination of that nutrition and just all of that really makes a difference.
Brilliant. So Jimmy's down 2 here. It's a really big bowl. Josh Thornton could be close to getting into double figures and being the first one to get there. Jimmy not far away. Jimmy not far away. He's got a bit of the jack. He's taken it down the line and straight back to Josh Thornton's bowl, waiting.
Oh, I couldn't see that back there, yes.
In the catching position, and he can't quite believe it. Towel on the head for Josh. But if you miss past and miss behind the jack, because it can always come into play. And that is a 9-6 lead for Josh Thornton. He's won 3 ends in a row, but the last 5 ends that he's scored on have been just singles. So Jimmy's been in the head, and that'll give him a bit of confidence. He's won 5 of the last 6 ends, Josh Thornton. But that big 3 to Jimmy Reynolds to get it to 6-all has been telling. Josh, again, with these longer lengths, proving to work for him. This is not a bad first effort. His weight's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, lovely start from Josh. I think the end's even longer than it has been now.
Almost tee to tee.
He's about 3 metres from the tee. Nice reply from Jimmy.
This is exhibition sort of stuff from these two.
Isn't it, Val?
Yeah, a couple of bits of luck involved throughout, but that happens in every game. Josh's line better that time, just needed a bit more weight. Does Jimmy now have to change hands, or can he still get around that front one? Same hand. That's a great finish from Jimmy Reynolds.
Josh asking the marker where his bowl is in relation to Jack.
It's always good to do that, just to get an idea of how the head is sitting.
Yep, it's pretty hard to see from that far away.
Oh, for sure, even with 20/20 vision. This is not a bad effort from Josh Thornton, but it's just not going to get there. Similar weight to his last.
Yep.
And he asks if he's allowed to come and have a look, which you're allowed to ask after your second bowl.
Correct. I think you're allowed up to the head automatically after your third bowl.
Yes, you are.
But prior to that, you need to ask if you're allowed to up.
Jimmy holding 2. This game sitting such a precarious position. Josh Barry currently leading Cooper White Styles 11-9. Damien Delgado leading Barry Brennan as well. Can't quite see the Flavel Men's scoreline.
Looks like 9-6, but I'm not sure.
So to add in a third here, Jimmy Reynolds. So on the high side, but it is going to come back. Might have just gone too far. If it falls over, it might be okay, but I think he's just pushed it a little bit.
Or do you think that was his strategy to get behind? We
Possibly.
don't know what Josh is going to do here. He might try to... Is he going to draw?
Could have been. Well, this is his last bowl because Jimmy then does give himself the opportunity. If Josh can't get there, gives him the opportunity to maybe trail that jack and make a
coming in
four.
with a little bit of weight here.
I think this is going to cut underneath. It is. So, Jimmy Reynolds, if he can get the jack, there's a 4 on offer.
Could be back to even again. Who knows?
We could be in front.
Oh, 4, yes.
But a 3 will tie things up. A great sportsmanship from Josh Thornton there to pass the bowl. I do like that when the opponents do that.
It's kind of the theme of this Nationals, though. Other team members, I've had other team members helping me, picking up bowls. Louise, yesterday when I was playing her, was passing my bowls to me.
It's great.
It's an amazing atmosphere here, supportive atmosphere from the players across the board.
Jimmy just doesn't get enough there. And I reckon this is just going to be the 2. And it is. So Jimmy Reynolds back to within 1. Ends that run of 3 ends on the bounce for Josh Thornton, and more importantly, gets himself a multiple. Just heaps some pressure on. 9-8 in favour of the Victorian.
I guess back to a short end.
For sure. Such a great facility here at Broadbeach. They've got the new decking up there, which we saw each other on earlier on today. Jodie, it's so nice and relaxing up there.
It is lovely. It was
great view.
Good when the storm came the other day as well.
Yes.
And it's all accessible. Obviously, I look at those things. You've got the big long ramp upstairs. The bathrooms, all the doors are automatic openers. So we don't have to push doors through. It's all those little things that make a difference, which is obviously why our competition is being held here this week.
Good start from Jimmy Reynolds.
And a great reply from Josh.
And I think the good thing about bowls and the 3 Paranationals and the former multi-disability championships, which was what it was called in 2022, Mermaid Beach, Warwick and Broadbeach, all sensational clubs in terms of inclusiveness, in terms of accessibility. Just nothing is too hard.
Absolutely. And the volunteers that come out and help us move our chairs and markers and scorers. And we've got volunteers to push wheelchairs, pick up bowls, kick bowls back. The club's really put a lot of effort into helping us be the best bowlers that we can be this week.
And being the best bowlers that you can be, are pretty damn good ones as well. These are the best of the best. Jimmy, what's he got? Is he going to sit the bowl? He is, but he's going to pump it up to jack high. really precarious end here. Jimmy needs to get one in, get one closer, try and get back to level terms. He's not far away. He's going to sit his own away, and they're all, well, they've gone further away now, so it's...
Still got one in the head, though.
Yep. But I dare say it might be two down. No, just
What
the
the
one.
marks say. Yep, one.
And he's got a much better idea of it than I do. He's standing right over there.
Very difficult to see from here.
They're sitting about, what, maybe 5 metres away? Maybe 10? So, Josh Thornton goes around the backs. It's only going to be one more to Josh and continues to score in singles. First into double figures. 10-8. Well, we are going to get a measure. Have I gone the early crow?
He's not going to give it away.
It is 10-8, so one to Josh Thornton, and his last 6 or 7 scores, 6 scores, my maths is wrong there, 6 have been ones. Jimmy's been able to get his last 2 scores or 3 scores in multiples, and that's why he sits so close. Jimmy's only won the 4 ends.
Were they short ends?
Yes.
Yep.
So Jimmy's won the 4. Oh, he's won a few long ends, actually, to take it away from Josh, but Josh has won 8 of the 12 ends that we've played. Definitely doesn't tell the story of what the score says, does it?
Absolutely not. Both of them are bowling very well.
Before I made the drive up this morning, I had to be a little bit of a diva, Jodie, and change my hotel room because I'm right above the bins at Club Tweed.
Oh, really?
And every morning at 5:50, without fail, someone has come to empty them.
Oh.
Every morning I've been here.
A lot of trash going through Club Tweed. You're saying at Club Tweed?
No, not at, but at a hotel nearby. In Coolangatta. And it's every morning without fail. So I've asked if I can just move to a little bit of a quieter area because I'm up there for the next, 8 nights.
You need your rest after a long day.
And I need my
You're not early morning?
No.
No.
I
like to sleep in and come in just before
mornings.
Broadcasting, hey?
Well, usually we'd normally come in about an hour before and set up the cameras, but Robbie Allen's doing that all for us. So, come in and about half an hour before we go on, do some prep.
You are a diva. Just the talent waltzes in and you straight
it's
online.
never usually like that. And I stay back a long time after,
I know
don't
you
worry.
do. Just teasing you, Val.
But no, I had a diva moment. They were very happy. They were very accommodating. I didn't want to have to ask. I was hoping that there wouldn't be any bin collection this morning, but it came. And
so you've moved to a different room within the same hotel?
Yeah. So I left my stuff there and they said, we'll move you up a couple of levels and into the middle, and I'm very much looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight, unimpeded. No, I definitely need my beauty sleep. Are you a morning person, Jodie?
I used to be, and I can be, but yeah, I guess I am. It's just I'm grumpy in the mornings.
Oh, me too.
I wake up early, but I'm not in a good mood.
No, I need my coffee before anything else.
After my coffee, then I'm fine. But I do wake up early. And the days that I don't need to, I still wake up early anyway. I'm not a late night person.
See, I'd get stuck watching TV or whatever I find. Jimmy Reynolds coming around the back. That'll be 2. Oh. That's a great bowl, and it's on the tee as well. Trying to look at what I can see. The other scores, 12-9 in favour of Josh Barry. can't quite see what's happening between Damien Delgado and Barry Brennan either, but that has changed for Josh Barry. Cooper Whitestyles has just netted a 2, so 12-11. Josh Thornton around the back, so Jimmy Reynolds now. An opportunity, Jody Nikolic, to take the lead. He's not led at all in this contest, as we've just ticked over the halfway point, time-wise.
Didn't get another one in. 1 point in front. Otherwise, it's back to even Stevens.
Yep.
Yep. Tight game.
It really has been. The biggest lead that we've seen so far has been 3 shots or 4. Yeah, 3 shots or 4. It was 4-0 after 2. So
Neck and neck.
as big as it's been.
Jimmy having a word to his coach.
That's good. Just shows the importance of a ringside coach. Jimmy Reynolds needs one.
It's always good to have an outside perspective. Yep. Sometimes your head gets in the game and...
Yeah. What do you think I should do? Telling it to hurry. Telling it to hurry. Is it going to hurry? Has he sent it? I don't think he sent it. Body language says absolutely not.
It's hard to see from here.
2 definitely cleared out. Josh is just going to have a quick measure just to make sure and confirm for Jimmy. Looks as though we're going to be at 10 apiece. Semi-final spot up for grabs. And that is a 2.
10 all.
Sure is. What an enthralling battle we have. It's exactly what we thought it would be.
We always knew this was going to be a very tight, well-contested game. 2 champions.
And Jimmy's probably sent this a little bit longer.
Longer than I expected.
Okay. Well, maybe he sensed that the long ends are where he's starting to get Josh Thornton, because the last 3 ends that he's won, in fairness, have been on the longer end.
Starting to get a feel for that length.
And 4 of the 5 ends that he's won have been on the longer length. He's only won multiple ends in a row once, so he's trying something different here, Jimmy Reynolds, and saying, well, maybe I'll go longer.
And look at that start.
And he's followed it as well. So this might be the tactical change that could bring Jimmy Reynolds into the forefront of this contest for the first time. He's not led. He's been even on 2 occasions, 6 all, and at 10 all now. And he's got the momentum. Well, let's earmark this as the possible change, because we sent this out pretty wide. Let's see if it comes back. Or is he going to try and send it around the back and give himself some coverage? Because he knows that Josh is playing on the forehand, so if there's any jack movement, Jimmy's there and he's got the tee. That's a good home.
Protect his lead.
He's going to cut under as well. So 1 to Jimmy Reynolds at the moment. If he can get under,
He's
snuck it in.
Little slide.
So holding 2. Josh needs to get one close. Has he sent this wide enough? He's having a look.
Grass looks much better on this bowl.
Got the jack.
Oh, great bowl.
Superb from Josh Thornton. That is brilliant. What a reply. Jody, we are witnessing a brilliant clash,
End
aren't
by
we?
end.
Bowl for bowl. So enjoyable.
It's not a boring game, that's for sure, Val.
Great to have everyone's company here on Ringside Live. 2 of the best going around, Jimmy Reynolds and Josh Thornton. New South Wales versus Victoria, the old rivalry. Jimmy's gone with a bit of weight here, but I reckon he's tight. That's going to start to cut back.
It's a little tight, you might.
But,
Oh,
and he hasn't done enough. So Josh will probably score, and he's not given up the lead at all. But he's got to be careful with what he does here, because this isn't an easy one to get at.
yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to change hands.
(13-12) in favour of Josh Barry over Cooper White Styles.
Another close game.
Very much so. Josh changed hands.
He's going to get underneath his own and through.
Well, he's given it. Has he got the legs of
Drop
that?
in. No.
Has he done
That was a
enough?
brilliant ball.
I think he might have made this. This is, if he has, that is an exceptional delivery. Tape.
Gonna measure.
He said, I'm not even sure it was in, but let's see. Josh Thornton. Let's get a good look at the Broadbeach logo. So 1 taken out. Is it 2? Now Marco realising he was just in the way
His
there.
calves. Nice shot of his calves.
Umpire called.
Umpire. It's very close.
And they looked one way for the umpire. Umpire was standing right behind them. Waiting in the wings. So 1 to Josh Thornton. He will regain the lead. Will it be his first multiple since the second end of the match? Or will it be a single once more? If he made this, this is some sort of a delivery.
And he changed hands, didn't he, Val?
Yes.
Yep. Total change of hands. Took that grass. The wind's coming in from the ocean a little bit. Took it perfectly. Perfect weight. That's a big change. And
He went forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. So, not easy.
it's not easy.
I think this might be 2 to Josh Thornton. Those calipers getting a workout.
Yep. 2 to Josh.
That is a sensational bowl. And he gets his first multiple since end number 2.
Can we do replays on it? Do you do replays? Underneath his own.
There we go, right now.
Oh,
Well,
look
he's
at you.
given it.
Look at that.
Has he got the legs of
Drop
that?
in. No.
Has he done? It was the 14th end. It had been 12 ends since Josh Thornton had scored more than a 1. And he leads at 12-10 now. What a matchup this is.
I wonder if Jimmy will be thinking about those short ends again.
Maybe, I don't
That
know.
long end.
It took something special from Josh to get him. He was all over him.
He was. Bowled very well.
So 9 to go for Josh Thornton. 11 for Jimmy Reynolds in this race to 21. Supremely good.
Lovely start.
Josh cutting underneath again, so they've gone end for end now. The last two ends going in this direction, in the northern direction. Jimmy Reynolds has had the better of Josh Thornton. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 ends going in the southern direction. It's been Josh Thornton. It's all patterns at the moment. Jimmy falls in. That'll do for 2. Josh going to have a look. Real battle of mind here. Both of them very highly analytical people when you think about the sport of bowls.
Yep, he's opted to change hands and
Very close.
very, very close.
Those changes in hands have been so impressive.
He does it almost seamlessly, doesn't he? At
Yep.
one point I thought he was going to try and upshot one of his bowls up a little. And then I saw the grass. And it's just... What do you think Jimmy's going to do here?
It's an interesting one. Maybe he sort of comes on the forehand and then sort of plays towards this Josh Thornton bowl. Just trying to find this gap here or coming around and sitting on his own. Just either sitting it away and staying or just dead drawing it. And I think he's just gone for the dead draw here. Jimmy Reynolds.
And he's not far off too.
And that, it's
Ooh.
close. Very close.
Okay, let's see what Josh does here.
Staying on the backhand, Josh Thornton, Commonwealth Games gold medalist right here at the Broadbeach Bowls Club in 2018. He goes around the back. So now the option is there for Jimmy. I'm thinking that shot I was thinking before, and you're the expert, you tell me, but whether maybe he can just come and aim for this gap here at about 12 o'clock. If he comes through,
In
he
between
sits,
both bowls and
Yep.
just sits Josh's.
sits that away for 3, or if he misses high, he promotes his in for 3. But the problem is he doesn't want to promote that
think
onto the jack.
That's
and
right, he doesn't
squirt
want to knock the jack back to Josh.
So you tell me what you'd be playing in this situation. Are you going for a dead draw?
I'm not as experienced as these two, but just on paper there, I would, looking in between the two bowls and coming in and covering Josh.
So for Jimmy Reynolds, can he...
See what he's done. He's taken a narrower line, so I think you're right here, Val. Or he could be trying to just promote his own,
He's
which
so
is not
close.
far off.
Jimmy Reynolds is so close.
There we go.
Well, he's nailed 2 there.
Yeah.
Almost got it. The jack movement certainly helped. That is another 2, I believe.
That was definitely the less risk kind of way of trying to do things there.
And again in this direction, Jimmy Reynolds holds sway. And once more, we are level, Jodie
This is his
Nikolic.
end. 12 all.
12 apiece. We are going right down to the wire. And it's been played in good spirit as well. Smiles all around. Josh laughing, Jimmy laughing. It's a great game of bowls. It really is. I hope you're all enjoying it at home as much as Jodie and I are right now.
And we're sitting under the upstairs balcony, aren't we? So I can assume that it's pretty busy up there.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jimmy, it's probably, it's about a 3/4 length.
About 29 metres.
So we've got Australian sides and senior sides to come over the next few days after tomorrow. We've got one more day of Para-Nationals here at Broadbeach.
And moving back to Tweed.
And then move back to Tweed for 7 days of action. Then Wednesday, a little bit of a rest day. I'll rest my vocal cords ahead of the final few days of sides. Got 4 or 3.5 days there. 3 days of 2 sessions and then 1 morning session.
Very busy time. And were you commentating? I haven't had a chance to watch anything yet. I'll watch it back later. I've been busy. But Chloe, yesterday.
We didn't do the final. The only match of Chloe Stewart that we did was her versus Chrissy.
Yes,
that was
our
on,
WA. Chrissy, yes.
The All Jackaroo matchup, and Chloe just understanding the conditions and, knowing that rink so well. She had it on a string. It was so impressive. And to beat Dawn like she did as well yesterday morning, I think was so impressive, as Dawn is one of the best players in the world at the moment.
She's on the top of the rankings, isn't she?
No, Kelsey Cottrell is... she's at the top of the Australian rankings.
Oh, the Australian rankings.
World rankings, I'm not 100% sure, actually.
Yeah, I think it's the Australian rankings.
Yeah, Dawn, number 1. Chloe will be right up there, though. She was number 3, and she's got another Australian title to her belt. And again, in this southern direction, Josh Thornton, the man, holding sway. Now we're just in a holding pattern. Jimmy has not led at all. It's been level on 3 occasions. But Josh just continues to hold him at bay. Does this have the run? Probably not.
A little short, I think.
Josh Thornton holding 1.
Oh,
Jimmy Reynolds is so close.
Look at this. Where's he taking it to?
And no.
Oh, it moved sideways.
Same result. 1 down. That hurts because that was swooping back like a magpie that's just seen an unsuspecting bike
It was
rider.
a very good bowl, just the outcome. Pushing the jack over a little towards Josh.
This is magpie season, of course. Spring. I see around Melbourne, you see a lot of people riding with cable ties above their bike helmets. I'm like, what are you doing? And then you realise, oh, it's
It's
probably
for the magpies. I remember them when I was young. We used to walk to school and we used to be swooped, but I don't go outside much these days. I drive everywhere.
Fair enough.
Oh, look at this reply.
Josh Thornton, that is sumptuous.
Yes.
And another 2. So now we're scoring in multiples. And again, he wins to this end and he's 14-12 ahead. Who is going to make the move here? Who is going to make the move? It's funny, when I was in Moama this year for BPL, I had a bit of time on the first night there. I went for a walk around the whole suburb, and as I'm on my way back, I made eye contact with a magpie towards the end of the walk. We were looking at each other, and I had a feeling. And then I sort of kept an eye on him, kept walking, kept moving, kept going, and then I heard this just aggressive flaps, and I just bolted as quick as I could.
Isn't that the cardinal rule, Val? You never look a magpie in the eye.
Well, I had to watch because it looked
Keep your eyes
shifty.
down and shuffle. That's what my mum
shifty.
used to tell me. Keep your eyes down, don't look at them, and just shuffle away.
I ran as quick as I could
They
for
are
about 10
shifty.
metres, and then I looked back and it had gone. So,
Protecting its young.
well, it was on its own. I don't know where the other ones were, but I wasn't
There's
happy.
some long-legged Queensland birds at the RAC. I don't know if they're egrets or
the bin chickens?
No, dump. Oh, I was going to call them dump.
The bin chickens.
Yeah,
The dump trucks.
Dump truck chickens. I don't think
Ibis.
we had them.
The ibis.
Are they ibis?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think they're native to Queensland.
There's a whole little bunch of tiny little ones. They've got like long little legs and little beaks running around the caravan park where we're staying this week.
Baby
They're
bin
so
bin
cute.
chickens.
Baby bin chickens.
The dump truck birds.
Another great ball by Josh. Comes Jimmy, he's got the weight. Just cutting across a little bit. Cut it down to 1 though. Just drop the weight a little there. Jimmy's put a little bit more weight on this. He's come just behind. What do you think, Val? It's hard to see from this angle. He's got shot.
I think it's Josh.
Yeah.
And
Oh, can you see out on the green? No, it's the other end.
other end, but
Yep.
yeah, I do think it's Josh, but I feel like the way things are going, Jimmy will change this with his last. Just seems as though his is a little bit further back. Josh Thornton, this
yes.
is something.
Yeah, great ball.
So now that does make Jimmy's shot a little harder.
Yes, he doesn't
So-
want to knock the jack over towards Josh's last ball.
So maybe you're aiming towards Josh's front bowl there. So maybe at 11 o'clock, aiming it towards there, maybe half the jack towards his own at the back, or stay there for the dead draw and take the 1. But
We'll see what he does.
an interesting shot option here for Jimmy Reynolds. What's Jimmy Reynolds got? Josh hopefully stays where he is. So this is coming through. What's he done? Oh, wow.
Just a little.
That was a little rub there. Just didn't quite come off. So what is the total? I think it's 2. Josh Thornton might be the man that has made that move. 16 to 12.
It is 2.
Wow, okay. So back to that 4-shot lead. Biggest of the match, which isn't much. That just shows how close it's been. Very enjoyable contest so far. Josh is 5 shots away now. And having a look at the other scores, I can't quite see what's happening. I think it's a 20 to 13 lead for Josh Barry over Cooper Whitestyles. I can see
He's pulled ahead.
the outline of a 2 there.
I can't see
Oh
anything.
no, they're
over
signing
that side.
scorecards. Josh Barry is into the semi-finals. Nicely played by the Victorian. So he's through, which means grab the draw up and alert you to what the scenario is. Josh Barry will play the winner of Chris Flavel and David Mins. They're still doing battle now. David Mins, former both of them Australian Open champions now. Chris winning one earlier on this year.
Lovely start here by Josh.
So he's just narrowing in here, Jody, and I'm starting to think he's tightening the screws. But we can't say anything as of yet because Jimmy Reynolds
Jimmy might have a plan.
Yep.
Jimmy always has a plan.
In bowls, I bring it up in commentary a lot, but the Dumb and Dumber, the Lloyd Christmas line, so you're telling me there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Exactly, especially in
with
21 up.
players of this calibre.
We saw during the Australian Open final between Travis Moran and Kobe Cromie in the under-18s where Travis led 18-8 and Kobe came back and won it.
The big comeback.
Jimmy, it's fallen in. Might have done enough there. Might have done enough.
Good track here as well. Has he got the weight? Just needs a little touch, push.
Just finding every sort of gap in there. So with Josh only scoring really in singles from the middle portion of this match, he's now we haven't had a single for 6 ends.
It's been 2s.
Jimmy slipping around the back, so is that going to stay up? No. That treacles into the ditch, so this is all of a sudden quite dangerous for Jimmy Reynolds. Yes, he's got that one in the head, but if Josh nails this, Jimmy's going to have to pull out something superb with his last. It's the only place you can watch the Nationals today here, Broadbeach. Club Tweed. There's a couple of practices for senior sides, and that competition starts tomorrow. We'll be here, though, streaming the finals. Josh Thornton, he's going to go around the back as well, just to cover.
Good move there from Josh.
Measure indicated.
So we don't know who's got it.
No, I think
It's a
Josh
measure.
is laughing. He's loving life out there. It's good fun.
He's always happy, Josh.
I really don't know. This is really close. I wonder if we're going to get an umpire out. Jimmy Reynolds, what have you got? It's coming. Not enough. Tape will come out, or umpire straight away.
Straight to the umpire.
So what is this going to be? Is it going to be a 17-12 lead to Jimmy Reynolds or to Josh Thornton? Or is it going to be cut back down to 3 shots? If it's to Thornton, he's in the checkout zone. Which means that he's only just one end away from victory with a full count. Oh, what's the calipers doing? I might be favouring red here.
Red it is.
Jimmy got it in. 16-13, Jody Nikolic. What an enthralling battle this has been.
It still could be anybody's.
Yep.
It really can. I can't predict it. They're both bowling so well.
Jimmy still hasn't
He can
led
do
yet.
this.
It's the first single he's scored since N3 of the match. So that's how he's kept himself in it. Only his second single. Everything else has been a 2 or 3.
2 or 3. And he's chosen to go, what, about 2 metres off the tee.
Just over 3/4 length. So in an hour and 20 minutes time, that's when we've got the Women's Open Pairs final. That'll be a 3-hour time limit.
34 minutes left on this game.
A couple of fans come in. So both just sort of missing wide and short.
I'm wondering, Val, if the conditions on the green might have changed a bit, and they're struggling with that. I know yesterday that, middle of the day, things speed up a little bit.
They do here,
Jimmy was a
especially.
little long on that last end, so I'm wondering if he's in that buffer zone where he's just managing his weight again.
That's exactly right, Jody, and we're hitting that, midday
Right
time.
in the middle of the day, yep.
Yep, 12:40 local time.
Yep, it was a little heavy this morning. Was there rain overnight? I don't think there was.
Don't think
It's
so,
still
no.
drying out from 2 days previously, or yesterday morning it was raining.
Jimmy holding one.
Nice.
This has been a match of the highest order. So much quality. Jimmy's just going to cut under here.
Yep, just needed a little bit more weight there. Looks like Chris Flavel's game is over there.
Double check whether he won. Find out a little later on. He was taking on David Minns, who's a very handy bowler in his own right. Josh Thornton, however, is pretty close. Our marker's just in the
all I can
way.
see is a bottom.
Where'd that end up? He went through the gap. Or over the top, I'm not sure. So Jimmy Reynolds. This is a better line.
This looks good track. Wait, just going to go behind.
Good home. So Josh now to try and wrestle this back. One's probably the only thing on offer for him.
One
Josh.
end at a time. Yeah, he's just covered Josh's bowl at the back there, just in case it comes through.
So if Josh Thornton can get this, he's on that all-important 17 in 21 up. It's a big number to get to. Just says you can end it the very next end. We've got the long one here. As the other matches sort of closing down. Damien Delgado and Barry Brennan still going, and Josh has cut under here. So Jimmy Reynolds, for just the second time in this match, wins consecutive ends. 16-14 is the score. And we go on.
Ooh.
Did Jack stay
just
on?
Stayed up there. Yeah, so it'll be on the tee. This looks like a good start here from Jimmy. Just a little behind. Yeah. And an equal reply.
Pretty
from
much.
Josh.
I'm still favouring Jimmy just slightly. So, only on one occasion has someone taken 3 straight ends in this match. It was Josh Thornton, who went from 6-all to 9-6, so did 3 singles. Jimmy Reynolds looking to do the exact same thing here. Excellent weight from all 3, just matching each other.
Josh seems to have nailed his weight on this one.
So again, every end now just so important. And that one, well, it's going to be one to Josh, I think. So unfortunately, we don't have any scores on other boards because we can't see them. So you just have to, if anybody's wondering, we can't bring you anything else. We'll get you to have a look after the match and after the session. It'll all be on results.bowlslink.com.au or the Bowls Now app, which I'm assuming you've got, Jody.
I have got the Bowls Now app.
That's good. I'd be disappointed in you if you didn't.
I've only recently I found out about it at last AO, and I've been using it ever since. It's a much quicker way to find results and find draws and get a bit of news at the same time.
So, very interesting head here. Josh, I believe, has got one. Both of them having a look, and Jimmy conferring with his ringside coach. Under 30 minutes to go in this session, and we are none the wiser as to who's going to win this matchup. So methodical, these two. Lunch break after this as well. Always exciting.
My tummy's rumbling.
How have the lunches been here?
Very nice.
They're always
Yesterday we
good
had
at
a
Broadbeach.
Thai green chicken curry.
Okay.
Fish and chips and salad the day before, and a schnitzel on day 1.
Ooh. Hoping for that today. Yeah, they've been good at Tweed as well. Look at the two clubs looking after us.
The clubs do look after us.
Jimmy Reynolds is close.
He is close.
Jimmy Reynolds is close. That was mightily close. Now, if I'm Josh Thornton, I'm seeing something here, Jody Nikolic. I'm seeing forehand into that front Jimmy Reynolds bowl, and I'm getting rid of it and staying for 4.
I was actually thinking of taking the jack just a little tap back.
Or that. Either or. If you're missing high, you're getting the jack. Forehand for Josh Thornton. He's in the area, but he's going to cut underneath, I think.
Underneath it and just knock it out, but hasn't quite got the grass there.
So is it just a 1? It is. Josh Thornton is into the checkout zone.
17-14.
Within 1 end of victory, but nobody scored a 4 in this one. I've only seen 2 threes, 1 to each player. What a contest we've had.
I'm not counting Jimmy out, though.
No,
not at all.
Not in any sense of the word.
No.
The man is a fighter.
Yep. I expect to see more great things to come from both of them here. Could turn at any time. Josh has shortened the length just a little bit. Took the mat up a touch.
So after this, women's open pairs, that's the final we've got. Not sure who's playing in it yet. Try and see if I can find something. Nothing as of yet. So Jimmy's ended up a bit short. Josh has gone past. Josh, this is looking all right. It's a resting toucher, Jody.
Brilliant bowl, Josh Thornton.
So Val Febo and right at home, emerging para-jackaroo Jody Nikolic joining me. The Queen of Yanchep, they call it.
No, they don't.
They do now. You're too humble.
I'm shy.
The Queen can't be shy. Well, you were the president, so that kind of counts.
I guess so. No, we had a very tight committee. That helped in all things. Oh, another good ball here by
And now
Josh.
the pressure is heaped on Jimmy Reynolds. Come on, mate.
Who's that, Tummy?
Don't stand in front of the cameras.
I mean, it's a good head to stop and have a gawk at, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but...
You didn't see the cameras.
So Jimmy now has to be up. He's just got to be up. He's got to be up. Jimmy Reynolds.
Oh, coming in.
Jimmy Reynolds. Still 1 down. What more does he have to do?
I don't know. Are you sure? Can't see. Can you see from here? That's the other end.
I think you tend to favour the jack high bowls from these angles.
Okay.
Should ask Damien Delgado. Just went through
That
there.
is true.
But that is a sensational effort
Josh
from Jimmy Reynolds.
Changing ends with a big smile on his face.
He's not lost that smile throughout this
No.
contest. That is an unbelievable result. Jimmy nailed it. Just couldn't follow it through, and Josh's back bowl was waiting in the wings. This to possibly make it a second. come on, Jimmy. You know better. Has this got the weight to stop? No, so that's inconsequential. Jimmy Reynolds to try and get it back to a 2-shot game. Josh leads by 3. Everything this has been made out to be, it has lived up to and more. We may even get timed out, Jody.
21 minutes to go.
It could very well happen if Jimmy mounts a comeback. There's an opportunity here. Maybe if he can sit his own bowl. Well, he's motoring quick.
Yeah.
So one more to Josh. Jimmy obliges. 18-14. Margin back to 4. Biggest it's been so far. But James Reynolds, the world champion, is
will not give up.
No, and he's one perfect end away from levelling proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
What a match for you to make your ringside live debut in, Jody.
I'm no commentator, that's for sure, Val, but
you've done,
happy to sit here and have a chat with you and
superbly.
keep you company.
You've done superbly.
You always make me feel comfortable.
I try. So 3 shots for Josh Thornton to put himself into the semi-finals.
And a cracking start here too.
Little toucher.
Yep.
How's this one going?
Yeah, it's going to go through there.
Good home, though. It's been almost 2 hours of toing and froing.
That's gone quick, hasn't it?
Really has.
Yep.
Very, very quick. Jimmy Reynolds.
What's Jimmy got?
The goods.
Oh, the goods.
We are not done yet. We've got to.
Not
I reckon we're going to use all of these 18 minutes and 38 seconds that are left.
I'd say so, Val.
Jimmy Reynolds not far away. Has he got the weight to just sit and stop? Yes, he does. Well, that's a couple.
Oh, Jimmy.
Josh needs to put one in because if Jimmy has a free kick for a third, that can get himself into the checkout zone. And it would really be game on. As we've said, James Reynolds has only been level twice and has not led this match, but he's kept in it. Josh has held him at arm's length the whole time. And he'd be thinking about that, Josh. He's close.
the weight?
Line was good.
Oh,
So Jimmy Reynolds with a chance for a third. And to make it a one-shot game. He's tossed it out on a wide line. And he's quite annoyed with himself. $16 to Jimmy Reynolds, 18 to Josh Thornton. And we go on.
16 minutes to go.
End number 23 we're playing. Thirteen ends, Josh Thornton has won. 9 to Jimmy Reynolds.
This looks like a cracking start as well. Oh.
Unbelievable. Yep. The chalk didn't come out.
Must be just propped up by itself.
This is the last match going.
Yeah, everyone else is packed up and gone for lunch, I'd say.
These two aren't hungry. Or they might be hungry. Hungry for a win. This is underneath from Josh Thornton, so Jimmy Reynolds can smell blood. Been behind for 20 of the 22 ends that we've played. The other two, he's been tied. He's not led. Has he got the weight to just stop? That'll do. And now he's on the tee as well. So one right behind and one on the tee. Great shooting. Missed in the right area there. Josh Thornton. Josh Thornton. Very close.
Very, very close.
Jimmy's made the move to Cabramatta over the last year and a half or so. It's formerly the ACT. Now playing at the juggernaut that is Cabra. Just didn't get the legs. Josh is coming up to have a quick look. Has anyone ever told you no when you've asked?
To be honest, yesterday was the first time that I've ever gone up to the head in the middle of a game.
Okay.
I usually play lead.
Right.
But
even
in
singles?
the singles yesterday, we don't play singles that often except for these big competitions. I did go up a few times and actually I forgot to ask.
How dare you, Shady?
I did. I don't know if it was, I think it was the last end. Louise said she was going up to have a look, so I said, I'm coming with you.
Oh,
and
perfect.
then the
That's
next end, I needed to have a look as well. So I said, I'm going up. Do you want to come with me?
Well, that's all right. If you invite them
Yeah.
and they come, then that's them saying yes. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So Josh Thornton, change of hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's cut under. Not happy. So Jimmy Reynolds now to put some immense pressure on. Because if he can put in a third, provisionally he'll be in front.
For the first time this game.
Yep. After 23 ends. Josh still has one more left in the tank. Jimmy's methodical. Got 12 and a half minutes. We are none the wiser. Been going over 2 hours.
He's thinking, he's following his process there. You can see it in action.
This is one of the best matches of parabols I've ever covered.
You've seen a lot.
I've seen a fair few.
Yep.
one of the best, most enthralling matches of bowls I've covered.
Oh.
Jimmy Reynolds, is it enough to get him for third? Oh, I don't know.
It's hard to tell from the angle, isn't it?
I don't know. It's close. I reckon he might have done it. Look, there's a chance it could even be 4, but
I'm not saying anything.
I
I just
don't
can't
know.
tell from this angle.
I don't know.
Oh,
So, Josh Thornton
Here we
about to
go.
send down his last. That's what the head looks like. It's interesting. It's very close to 4.
yep. Looks like 4 from that angle. See what Josh does here.
He's on good grass.
Mhm.
Needs to clear Jimmy's front. Needs to clear Jimmy's front. Doesn't clear Jimmy's front.
Oh.
And is this the swing? Marker holds paddles aloft, and he holds 4 of them
4.
aloft. Jimmy Reynolds, for the first time
There
after...
was a few screams
Yeah, I
from
think that was
upstairs.
Jimmy's
that was wife,
yep.
Nicole. I can hear.
She's his biggest fan. And 4 for Jimmy Reynolds. For the first time after 23 ends and after 2 hours, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, Jimmy's in front for the first time. Wow.
And Josh still has a big smile on his face.
What a
Even
time.
though, yeah, great game. Fantastic game.
To pick up the first 4 of the game in the 23rd end.
The thing is, like, Val, I don't have a favourite. I'm rooting for them both.
Yeah, Bowles has been the winner here. That old cliche. Jimmy, I reckon that's a rush of blood. It's gone right to the back. It stayed on too. What an enthralling battle this has been. Josh holding 1. So Jimmy now, anytime he's holding shot, he's holding game. And that's just that little bit of the mental edge. What can Josh reply with? The trend that doesn't favour Jimmy Reynolds is that he hasn't won 3 ends on the bounce yet.
He's pretty good one in there.
He's got game again.
Yes.
Room for Josh. We've been so incredibly lucky to sit here alongside these two. We said it would be a ripper, a cracking contest, and that's exactly what it's been.
Certainly has been, Val.
To net a 4 with just at that time when you haven't been in front. Jimmy Reynolds, he's close. He's very close. Oh, Jimmy.
2 game points there.
You can hear Nicole. She's getting antsy. She is his biggest fan and she's with him every step of the way. It's so great to see.
Lovely lady.
What's Josh Thornton got? He's not far away at all.
Josh.
Oh, wow. Josh Thornton, take a bow.
What a game, Val.
Bowls of the highest order. I don't know if it's 2.
Yeah, I
Probably
can't see if
still
it's
1.
1 or 2.
But he just hit it in the right spot and followed it in because it came off Jimmy's back bowl.
My fingers are literally tingling.
Yeah,
Anxiety.
it's been that good.
Oh, can we see it from that angle? Still hard to say. I think it's 1-1.
Jimmy, what have you got? Oh, it went through. Oh, this is close. I still think it's 1 to Josh. And I reckon we're going to be going on.
Six minutes left.
Yep. I don't think we're going to get timed out. I reckon if Josh can get any sort of jack movement, he can win this game. But it's not going to be easy. So, final bowl of this 24th end. And Josh Thornton, if he finds the gap, he's just cut underneath. Wow, all right, what is the count? 1 to Victoria. And Josh says, I thought it was all over halfway down. I thought he had it too. I thought he was in for jack and 3 and not to be. 2019. 5 minutes on the clock. Is this the last end or are we going one more? Jimmy Reynolds is going to have final bowl here. So that's going to allow him to sort of know what he has to do. Obviously, he doesn't want to have to bowl it. So, it really is a pity there has to be a winner here.
That's absolutely true.
There does, even if it is timed out at a tie, we have to go to an extra end because this is a knockout match. This is a quarter-final. Jimmy, what have you got?
Yes.
Swings back. And he swings back beautifully, and it's leaning right on the jack. Resting toucher for Jimmy Reynolds. End 25 this is. This has been a special contest. It really has been.
Somewhat feels to me, Val, like Jimmy thrives on the pressure.
Yep.
When the pressure's on, that's when he just comes out and does even more amazing bowls.
Well, they do say pressure makes diamonds, and Jimmy is a diamond.
That's true.
So is Josh, though, because he played a bomb
They're
to
the
save
last
that
end.
game. Jimmy
What's he
again.
gonna do this time?
Jimmy again. Are we going to go to 20 all, Jody? I kind of want it to keep the match going.
Yep.
I don't want
Josh
this to
needs
end.
to get one in there.
Do not want this to
20 all.
end. Talk us through this, Jody.
I think the weight's just is. Oh, that was close. I thought he was going to sit on Jimmy's bat bowl.
Looked like it was darting back to. Jimmy's coming up. Jimmy Reynolds. The hush around Broadbeach it's contagious. We're quiet.
It is very quiet, isn't it?
Everyone's quiet. There's a garbage truck in the distance making some noise, which is quite rude.
Probably your one from this morning.
Oh, I've got a bone to pick with them. So Jimmy's holding 2. And he's going to cover around the back here.
I think that's a good idea.
And you can hear the coach, ringside coach, just clapping that. So Josh Thornton, this is it.
He needs to. Yep. What's he going to do here?
This is it. Jimmy holding. He doesn't want to have to play his last bowl. But after 2 hours and 14 minutes, 1 short of the allotted time, we may know who the winner is. Josh Thornton sends it on its way. He's stalking this. He's not far away.
It's
Josh
not
Thornton.
far away.
Does he get a lucky rub? He does not. And Jimmy Reynolds, as he's done time and time again throughout his career, took the lead on N23 for the first time. Rectified a 4-shot deficit on 3 occasions and took a 21-19 win to move through to the semi-finals of the B7-8 singles at the Para Nationals for 2024. The superstar that he is, and Josh Thornton, well played to you. What an absolute cracker of a contest that we just had, Jodie Nikolic.
And I saw it ringside and got to see it all with you, Val. No, absolutely amazing game. 2 great competitors. It could have gone either way at any point in the game, but Jimmy made it through.
He certainly did. Your debut was flawless, Jodie. Thank you very much for chatting with me and spending some time with me in the bunker here today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Val.
And we'll
Thanks for inviting me.
See you later on. And good luck with the rest of the tournament. You playing
Thank
it
you.
all tomorrow?
Yes,
or?
I made it through the sectionals into the semi-finals of the ladies singles tomorrow.
Well, good luck. Fingers crossed we're seeing you up there with a medal tomorrow. Thank you very much, Jodie Nikolic.
Thank you, Val.
Jodie there joining me, para-emerging Jackaroo. She's an absolute star and looking forward to seeing her in action tomorrow here at Broadbeach. Not sure if we're streaming her. We might be, so the pressure could be on. But Josh Thornton, valiant in defeat. James Reynolds, you star, 21-19. He's through to the semi-finals. Val Furbo and Jodie Nikolic signing off. Big thank you to Robbie Allen and also Creven Murphy as well for providing a lot of the pictures here with us today. We'll catch you in 44 minutes time for the final of the women's pairs.